Hi, I'm Lucas Cooney with ArcheryTalk, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Black Gold competition sight. This is a long-term review. I've had this sight for almost a full year now. I've had it on a couple of different bows, and these are kind of my impressions after months and months of shooting it, and what I've noticed, what I like and what I don't like. First off the bat, this is a rock-solid built sight. It is just, there is no movement that you don't want in this sight whatsoever that I've found so far. Everything locks down nice and tight. It never shakes loose. The clicks are really nice and smooth. I've been super impressed by the overall build quality of this sight. It just doesn't appear that it's going to have any slop in it whatsoever. And this has been a full year now, so I've had other sights, other high-end sights for that same amount of time. I've had some problems after a year, and this thing is still holding on really strong. It's also got an amazing amount of adjustability with it. It's you don't have to worry about putting on any offset blocks like you do on some other high-end target sights. This sight has a big kind of huge windage gain adjustment right here, left to right, probably 3 inches, 2 inches of adjustment there, as well as the micro adjustment right here with the windage. The really nice thing about this micro adjust windage is that you won't accidentally turn it ever. It's got a little notch right there. You click it open, you make your turns, move it back, and it's all locked into place as nice as can be. If you want to make the gang adjustment on windage, you have to turn an Allen key in there, and then you can just click this knob a couple times and move your windage as you like there. As well, on the back side of the sight, it's got kind of 2 different left to right positions, depending where you want to be. So I've got mine, I'm on the right side right now, but depending how your bow and how your sight is set up, you can move it off to the right. You change that easily for yourself as well. And it's also got, I think, 4 different positions up and down on each of those sides you can move the sight to. So it really will fit basically anybody on any bow, and you'll get full adjustability out of this sight without any trouble. There's no problem with me getting over 150 yards of adjustability out of the sight with a modestly fast bow. Again, the adjustability is like nothing I've ever seen before in another bow. Really impressed. There's only 2 things I really don't like about the sight, and they're pretty minor, and I wouldn't call either of them a deal breaker. The first one has to do with the scope. To take it off, you cannot do it without tools. It's not a big deal, but I do like the ability on some of the other sights I've had where you can just kind of unscrew it and pop it off without having to break out tools. Because every time I put my sight in my case, I take the scope off, just because I don't want to get knocked around and potentially bend the scope riser or anything like that. Pretty small deal realistically, not a real big issue. The other one I don't love is this dial here. This is I'm getting used to it. It took a little while. If the dial's all the way down, it's fully locked. You can't move it with the micro clicks or anything else. If you just move it up a little bit, you can start making micro click adjustments up and down. I believe there's 20 clicks a turn. There's really fine adjustments on this. And then if you want to move kind of a big change in, let's say you're doing 3D, you go from a 20-yard shot to a 50-yard shot. You have to move all the way, not all the way up, but a few turns up, and then you can start making big moves. A lot of the other sites I've played around with have a button option, which you can just kind of use if you want to make a big move. Push the button and go down, that would be great. I like the dial to be able to lock it in like that so you can't accidentally turn it when it's fully locked. But if I'm making big changes, I'd like to be able to just have a one-touch thing to move it up and down. But again, that's a very small complaint, and again, not a deal breaker for me, just because of how sturdily built this sight is and its full adjustability. I could overlook those 2 small things. When it comes to price, like any other high-end target bow sight, the Black Gold competition sight is a bit spendy. This one comes in at about $360 for a 6-inch dovetail or $370 for a 9-inch dovetail. It's a bit spendy, but compared to the other kind of high-end target sights from the other manufacturers, it's right in line, if not a little bit less. And when you consider the build quality of this thing and the adjustability it has, it seems like good value long-term for me. I fully expect to have this on my bow for 5, 10 years maybe, I hope. I just don't see any way that it's not going to hold up. It seems so rock solid. And for that reason, I can overlook the 2 minor issues I have with the sight, because I am that big of a fan of the build quality and the adjustability. So go check out Black Gold sights and the competition sight if you're in the market for a high-end target sight.